to be dead!
Hi guys, welcome back. How are you, loyal viewers? This time, we're going to discuss one of the most terrifying horror films of the past decade, namely Host, 2020. This film depicts the time when the coronavirus pandemic struck, when people couldn't gather in person and thus took advantage of the Zoom app to joke around and hang out together. However, this time the situation turns incredibly tense instead. Curious about how the story goes. Alright, rather than feeling down about the memories of the corona pandemic, let's just jump straight into the film discussion. The film opens with a beautiful girl named Hallie opening the Zoom app to host a virtual get-together with her friends. What's more, at that time they really couldn't meet in person due to the virus that was shaking the world. The virus that originated from Wuhan, China. After inviting her friends into the room, Hallie is puzzled when she hears a knocking sound. It turns out her friend Emma is asking for her new account to be invited as well. Even though they're neighbors, the two can only communicate through social media because of the coronavirus pandemic. Once everyone is connected, they immediately welcome the cute Emma and the mischievous Radina, who have just joined the Zoom meeting. Not long after, Caroline, who is wearing a face mask, also joins in. In the middle of the lively video call, Radina, who is being distracted by her boyfriend's cooking activities, is suddenly approached by him. Seeing this, they are all truly baffled because Radina is spending her time dating indoors amid the increasingly concerning corona pandemic. Next, they start trying out some of the filters available on Zoom. Meanwhile, Caroline changes her background using a travel video she recorded the day before. After having fun tinkering with all those advanced features, a bearded man named Teddy finally joins in. He immediately apologizes for being late to the meeting while explaining that he's currently at his girlfriend's house due to the current pandemic situation. That became an opportunity for them to date without fear of being caught, since no one would dare to come over due to worries about catching the coronavirus.
I think it's a twat knot from Corona. I feel like I check this little guy, and yeah, it's not exactly like I can bring out these weird rules.
After seeing that everyone was ready, they suddenly made a plan to conduct a seance and at the same time prove whether, in this modern age, ghosts, vampires, demons, and the like still truly exist or not. But before that, Hallie intended to invite a mediator to guide the spirit summoning process.
Hi, Salem. Hi, can you hear me?
Before the ritual began, the mediator, named Helen, first reminded everyone to turn off the lights and light candles as a means of communication. After that, they were also warned not to speak carelessly and to remain courteous, even though this summoning was being conducted virtually. Once everything seemed clear, Helen began the spirit summoning ritual by asking all participants to imagine as if they were in the same room together.
Are you serious?
No sooner had the ritual started than they became annoyed with Teddy, who was being drawn into a conversation by his girlfriend and ended up leaving the session.
Visualize us all together in the one room. Gently join hands with each other. Pass on any communication. Please come forth.
Seeing that, Helen asked everyone to stay calm and focus their attention throughout the spirit summoning process. After the ritual was completed, Helen said that the spirit would later reveal its presence through a sign, such as a name, a voice, a face, or a light that suddenly flickers.
Hold on.
Not long after, Helen, who seemed to see something, said that she had just witnessed a glow appear in the room. Suddenly, they all experienced a strange phenomenon.
Okay, let's just listen out. Spirit, one more time.
They were startled when they heard a mysterious voice. Seeing that, Helen intended to invite the entity to communicate. However, it turned out that the voice actually came from someone who had arrived at Helen's house. When Helen left the room, she felt that this seance ritual was utterly ridiculous. After Helen returned, Hallie suddenly said that she felt something touch her shoulder. Shortly after, they then saw something happen to Emma, as if the entity was a school friend of hers who had gone missing 3 years ago. A moment later, they were baffled when Helen suddenly disconnected from Zoom. At first, they thought it was really happening, but it turned out Helen was only playing a trick on them. And the story she had told earlier was entirely made up. In truth, however, she herself had no idea what was actually happening to her. While waiting for Helen to rejoin the Zoom meeting, they decided to go to the bathroom.
Alright, Haley. Names just come to mind?
Haley.
Fuck off, Gemma.
In the middle of that situation, they were suddenly startled when an object flew off on its own.
Hey, Hayley, what's going on?
Still thinking it was all just a prank, they asked Hallie to stop the joke. However, Hallie insisted that everything happening was completely real. Feeling that she had truly made contact with the spirit, Hallie intended to confirm its presence. When she heard a strange noise coming from another room, she asked her friends, including the viewers watching at home, to turn up the speaker volume. Instantly, the atmosphere turned panicked when a mysterious sound was heard from above the roof. Fearing that something might happen, Hallie asked Caroline to go check it out immediately. How shocked they were when Caroline saw a pair of pale feet dangling from the ceiling of her house. Amid the panic, Caroline was told to quickly return to her room. Meanwhile, Hallie intended to contact Helen. However, her steps suddenly came to a halt when she saw something right in front of her. Unfortunately, the figure could not be seen by anyone else. To prove what she was seeing, Hallie decided to use a Polaroid camera. Instantly, they were thrown into panic when they saw a tall, black, gaunt figure standing at the end of the room.
Ceylon?
In the midst of the increasingly tense situation, Caroline asked Hallie to call Helen right away. After finally managing to get through, Helen immediately apologized because her internet connection was very slow, even though her monthly bill had already skyrocketed. After Hallie recounted all the events they had just experienced, Helen felt that something was trying to connect with their circle. Afterwards, Helen asked Emma to tell them about the friend she said had died. However, at that very moment, Emma admitted that she regretted it because everything she had said earlier was entirely made up. Helen was instantly shocked by that confession, because Emma's actions were considered utterly disrespectful to the spirits. They were then told that it was highly likely, whether unconsciously or because of the fabricated story, Emma had actually created the spirit figure herself. Helen grew even more worried, fearing that the spirit that had now appeared was an evil entity that could threaten their safety. Therefore, Helen intended to help them close the seance session. Amid the tense atmosphere, Hallie tried to follow all of Helen's instructions in order to end the ritual.
Excuse you. Okay, imagine we're cutting rope.
My candle's already out.
Finally, they all felt a slight sense of relief after the seance session was officially closed. When Radina went to the bathroom, unnoticed, her camera actually captured the figure of her boyfriend hanging from the ceiling of the house. While waiting for Radina to return from the bathroom, Caroline was seen intending to get a glass of water first. Instantly, they were once again startled when they saw something happen to Caroline.
Caroline.
Hey, dude.
Not long after, Radina, who was still casually playing with filters, accidentally discovered a strange phenomenon when the filter detected something resembling a face and automatically applied a mask filter to it. Realizing that there might be an invisible figure there,
Emma.
Hi, it's Caroline.
They were once again consumed by panic.
It's fine.
They made sure that Emma was still okay. While Emma was hiding, they kept trying to warn Radina to get out of her house immediately. How shocked they were when Radina finally died after being thrown by the evil spirit. Not long after, they were once again baffled when they saw Caroline typing messages with strange words. It turned out that Caroline had been under attack by the evil spirit all along. However, because her virtual background was too flashy, they didn't notice what was happening at all. In the midst of the increasingly tense situation, Hallie planned to call Helen for help. A worried Emma immediately put on a mask and rushed over to Hallie's house.
Don't go!
Sorry, that's long.
Teddy, who had just finished spending time with his girlfriend, was instantly surprised to see Emma trembling in fear while hiding under a blanket. Then, suddenly, something horrifying happened to Teddy.
Box.
Don't stop! Don't stop!
How shocked Teddy was when he saw his girlfriend being killed by the evil spirit. In the middle of his attempt to hide, he was baffled after hearing a mysterious voice coming from another direction. Teddy ultimately had to die alongside his girlfriend. Not long after, the panic reached its peak when Emma heard someone's footsteps slowly approaching her. Misfortune then befell Emma, as she eventually joined her friends who had lost their lives earlier. A few moments later, suddenly the microphone from their device started emitting a commotion again. It turned out the sound came from Gemma, who was trying to get into Hallie's house. While checking the Zoom app, Gemma was completely shocked to learn that Emma had already died. Gemma was seen suffering from severe dizziness after her head was struck by a bottle. And then suddenly the horrifying terror resumed. After managing to find Hallie, Gemma urged her to get out of the house immediately. However, still consumed by curiosity, Hallie insisted on using her Polaroid camera. In the end, they both died after being attacked by the evil spirit. Well, this film is truly terrifying, isn't it? This entire chaos began when the defiant Emma made up a story that she had been visited by the spirit of a suicide victim. As a result, the figure she described actually manifested and killed all of them. That's probably all for this review and discussion of the film. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss out on other interesting videos. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye bye. ****.